Well, Canada, as you know, this show asks the big questions, and today we're going to ask another one and hopefully try to answer it for you. The question is around what we make every year. When did $100,000 stop being enough? When did we cross the line where a six-figure salary became just another way to stay broke? Because, newsflash, there's more than half this country that doesn't even make that. Let's go.
Welcome to Bakes on Things.
Welcome back to Bakes on Things. I'm your host, Chris Baker, and please like and subscribe and comment. It always helps the channel. I want to talk to you today about an illusion. The illusion that earning $100,000 a year still means that you're doing just fine. Because in 2025, I'm sorry, but that's a lie. And we've got the receipts to prove it. And most Canadians don't even make that. So we're going to compare what $100,000 bought you in 2010 and what it gets you today. And spoiler alert, what used to be a golden ticket to the middle class comfort you always wished you'd have has now become a slow, grinding march to poverty for our Canadian families. That's sadly the truth. So buckle in. This isn't just a rant. It's going to be a wake-up call for every single one of us to try and figure this out. And we're going to attack it today on the episode. So stay with us all the way to the end. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is start with your biggest beast in your family budget, and that is housing. And no, we're not talking housing policy right now. We're just talking about costs. And in 2010, the average home in Canada cost about $339,000, which is reasonable, right? With a 100K salary, you could buy a home, make your mortgage payments, and still have breathing room back in 2010. But when we fast forward to 2025, the story changes dramatically. The average home costs $707,000, and that is including small towns. And what happens to your mortgage payment? Well, it explodes from about $1,800 a month in 2010 to over $4,000 a month today. Now, that's 40 to 50% of your gross income before taxes, meaning if you're applying for a mortgage, most companies won't even approve you at that. So let me ask you, how does a family of four survive when half of their income goes to a roof over their heads? And if you're saying, well, don't worry, I rent, well, you might want to think again on that because average rent across Canada in 2010 was just $860 for a two-bedroom. And now it's $1,447, and that's just in small towns. Still a 70% jump. So with rent and housing, how do you even survive? It's not just the market, it's policy failure, it's interest rates, it's foreign ownership, it's epically uncontrolled immigration, it's decades of underbuilding, and it's governments that stopped serving Canadians and started serving developers. So what next? Because it's not just that. There goes 50 to 60% of that income. But let's talk about the stuff you need to keep your home livable. Electricity, heat, water, internet. In 2010, electricity rates were far more manageable. Your power bill was anywhere from $100 to $120 a month, and now try around $200 if you're lucky. And water bills, they've climbed too. In some areas, they've doubled. And heating, well, that's just a whole giant scam on its own. See, natural gas used to be very cheap. In 2010, your winter heating bill was probably around $150. Today, that same usage can run you $250 to $300 a month, and it's not even really because of the gas itself. That's the crazy part. It's the delivery charges, the fees, the regulatory add-ons. You're paying more to have the gas delivered to you than you are for the gas itself. And it's all buried in those impossible to read Enbridge or Fortis bills. They've turned your heating bill into a riddle. And guess what? The answer is always you pay more. There may be no carbon tax anymore for now, but it hardly matters. When the system is designed to bleed you through 1,000 different cuts and hidden surcharges, you're still paying through the nose. Even staying connected is a luxury. Internet. That used to cost $50 a month for high speed. It's now pushing 100 to 150 depending on your speed. And mobile plans? Well, one phone line is a car payment now. Utilities used to be background noise in your family budget. But in 2025, they're front and center. Another way for Canadian families to bleed their entire income slowly. And trust me, the authorities that control these things absolutely know this. Now, that's not even talking food. Let's go to food. Feeding a family of four in 2010, that cost around eight to $10,000 a year. That was pretty manageable. Today, the average cost is starting at over $16,800 a year, and that's $1,400 a month just not to survive, not to starve. Let that sink in for you. Food inflation has doubled. And I'm not talking about steak dinners. I'm talking about margarine, milk, apples. A tub of margarine jumped from $4 to $7.50. Groceries are no longer a chore. They're actually a crisis. And what are we getting from Ottawa for all of this? Well, we get excuses as we have for the last decade, press releases, food banks that now serve the working class. In 2010, 100K meant you didn't have to even worry about groceries. In 2025, you clip coupons and skip meals. And it doesn't stop there. Gas, cars, commuting. Fuel used to be predictable. In 2010, gas hovered around $1 a liter, went up a little and down a little. Now, $1.40 to $1.60 regularly, and that's when it's not spiking to over $2 because someone made up something that happened in the Middle East. The cost to commute has exploded. You're spending $3,000 a year on gas if you have a single family car. Your auto insurance in 2010, it was $1,200 to $1,400 a year. Today, you're lucky if you get it for under $1,700, and two cars, you're dropping $3,000 before a tire even moves. Transit, that cost is up too. In Toronto, a monthly pass went from $111 in 2010 to $156 now, and that's a 40% hike just to get to work. You don't even get to make money anymore before they're siphoning it already from you and siphoning it from your gas tank. And then look at everyday life costs. Everything is more expensive. The basics, that's all gone up. Toiletries, cleaning supplies, school lunches, clothes, you name it, it's up. In 2010, $100 got you a cart of household goods. In 2025, that same cart's $140 for you today. But here's the kicker, the quality isn't better. The shampoo isn't more shampooy. The jeans aren't tougher. You're just paying more for less. And God forbid you need a new fridge or some kind of appliance or repair to your home. A new laptop, maybe, a new anything for that matter. Wages didn't go up enough to match that. But the sticker prices sure as hell did. And then you got to think about your kids. What about childcare or post secondary education? Here's the one and only piece of good news we can deliver. And I'll give you this, the Liberals spearheaded this. If you're going to put a toddler in daycare, you're probably paying less in 2025 than you did in 2010. Why? Because the $10 a day daycare childcare program, it does work for some families, but even that's a half victory because after school care still costs over $800 a month per child. Summer camps, forget it. They're insane now. These are just luxuries now. And while we applaud affordability in daycare for some, let's not forget the damage done to the generation who couldn't afford kids because the costs are absolutely crushing. So, yes, if you're lucky and your daycare spot isn't on a wait list, childcare might actually be cheaper today than it was. But don't let the government wave one half measure and call it a miracle because it's not. When you look at the rest of education, it gets crazier and crazier from there. Now, the good news in Canada is that public school is still free, but if it wasn't, I think there'd be upheaval. But now you need to spend $700 per child per year on school supplies, on tech, and on extras. And that's if you don't want your kid falling behind. And university, look out. That's a ticking bomb. In 2010, tuition was about $5,100 a year. In 2025, it's $7,360. Want to send both kids to school? You better be saving $60,000 to $70,000. Now, how are you going to do that on a 100K salary? Good luck with all of that. You're not saving. You're surviving. You're pushing through. So then we turn to taking care of our own parents, to retirement. Let's talk about the future. We're potentially the lack of one. In 2010, if you earned 100K, you could put away 10K a year into an RSP pretty comfortably and still have money left over. Today, after the bills, after the gas, after the food, if you're saving anything at all, you're basically a magician and we all want to learn from you. Most Canadians aren't maxing out their RSPs. They're not even coming close to it. Median contributions in 2025 are less than $4,000. And what if your parents need help? Assisted living? It now runs from $3,000 to $6,000 a month, depending on where you live. Helping your mom stay in good care means paying more money from your own bills and taking them from your own bills. We're part of the sandwich generation, raising our kids while helping care for our parents, and 100K no longer covers that. So, what has this done to your mental health? This is what I really want to talk to you guys about. Let's be real here. All of this, the rent hikes, everything, grocery carts, the crushing debt, it's not just economic, it's psychological warfare. People across this country are truthfully breaking down mentally. Mental health hotlines are absolutely overloaded right now. Prescriptions for antidepressants and anxiety medication skyrocketing through the roof. Therapy wait lists months long. And nobody in power is acknowledging the root cause, which is the slow suffocation of the Canadian middle class. If you're sitting here watching this and you're feeling anxious, you feel a little bit overwhelmed, that's not a personal failure. It's not you. It's not laziness. It's not weakness. It's a rational response to a system designed to make you feel powerless. So if you're watching this and you're feeling like you're barely holding it together, I need you, the fans of this channel, to hear this. You are not alone. You are not broken and you are not crazy. You are living in a country that stopped fighting for you a long time ago, and you're still standing. So, congratulations, because you're still here. So, if we talk about how to fight back on this, which we need to do, and while Ottawa makes you wait, you don't have to. You don't need to wait on them. You don't need their permission to start creating extra income for yourself. In fact, thousands of Canadians are already doing this, not out of ambition necessarily, but out of sheer survival. And that's okay. You're not alone. Sell your skills, build a side hustle. Do not wait for the government to come and save you because they won't. Got a creative streak? Open a Fiverr, an Etsy shop. Offer writing, design, or custom products, proofreading even. Good with your hands? Offer small repair jobs or build a local handyman business on Kijiji or Marketplace. Speak another language? Tutor online or offer translation services. If you're just good at driving a car, Uber Eats or Uber or Instacart. It's not glamorous, but it's income. Hell, you can even rent out your driveway now in many urban areas where parking is hell. That's how desperate, but also creative Canadians are getting. This system is squeezing every drop out of you. It's time you squeeze something back out of it. Start small, keep receipts, learn new tools, but do not sit still. Take control of your life because the one thing they can't inflate or devalue is your resourcefulness. So let me put it to you straight. Here we go. We're going to close this out with this. In 2010, $100,000 was the gold standard of the Canadian middle class. It meant home ownership. It meant a car in the driveway. It meant groceries without stress, school without debt, and retirement without fear. In 2025, it means compromise. It means choosing between rent and food, between your kid's future and your parents' dignity. It means saying no to vacations, to hobbies, to anything beyond the grind. And we're supposed to believe that this is somehow progress? The Liberal government would love you to believe that. So, what do we do? Well, first, stop accepting this as normal. As I said, there's lots of little things you can do as side hustles to help yourself out, but stop pretending that this is your fault because it is not. You didn't fail, the system did. And now here Canada sits. Every time you see a press conference with another round of smiling nonsense from Mark Carney and his cronies in Ottawa, remember, we are not thriving. We are being drained slowly, quietly. If we don't stand up now, this erosion of the middle class will become permanent. So you need to demand accountability, demand policy that actually fixes housing, that reins in grocery monopolies, that lowers delivery fees and telecom gouging, that puts families before headlines. 100K should not mean you are scraping by. It should mean freedom, security, and a future. In fact, lower incomes than that should mean those things. And right now, all of that means none of that. So if you're angry, good. You should be. Share this video. Wake people up because until the politicians and their media lapdogs are forced to admit the truth, we will stay stuck. Thanks for watching Bakes on Things. I'm done pretending $100,000 means success in Canada. I hope you are too. It's time for all of us to take action because enough is enough. We all need to say, not anymore. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you tomorrow.